Nick, where's the any button? Oh god, are we dying now? Did we lose?
It's
Is this
next
game?
to Pig Up.
Where's my tab?
Only the
Simpsons.
finest, well-aged vintage Simpson jokes.
Only. And nothing more. How you doing, buddy? It's been way too freaking long.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. It's only been a week. You act like I've been gone for several months. See, this episode was recorded sometime back in January, just in case I ever did disappear. So if you're referring to something in the future, I don't know what you're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick is missing. Hey, Sparks, how you doing? Nick is missing. We don't know where he is. This isn't live.
Nick is potentially missing. We don't know that. Like I said, this is still January 2024.
You know, if we had a fan base besides Sparks, there would be like a whole rumor mill that we were no longer friends.
Channel lore, there would have been Fallout, and oh yeah.
YouTube drama. Nick is starting his own channel with casinos and hookers.
You know, what I love is, like, it seems like every time I turn on Netflix now, like, they've run out of ideas for documentaries, and they've just gotten to the point where they just make hour-long shows about YouTuber beef.
Yep.
What a charmed existence. What are we playing here?
This is the
doesn't look
sequel
like Far.
to yeah, we're different. We're
What did
no
I
longer
miss?
little red-robed character. We're now white kimono character.
We're like Peppino. We're like
Peppino?
little Peppino in Italy.
Oh yeah, I can see that actually.
No, let's recap this because
Woohoo!
okay, Far ended with being at the dock, right? And then
At the
world
mercy
was
of a
flooding?
volcano, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a ship. Oh, okay. I'm sure all this will connect in time.
Absolutely. And if it doesn't, who cares? It's more Far. You know, I gotta be honest, like, our 2-episode playthrough of Far was one of the more fun ones that I can recall doing on this channel.
Yeah, it was kind of relaxed, nice and cozy.
Yeah, it was. That's a good way to put it. Cozy. What's that like German cozy word or Dutch cozy word that also YouTubers make a living off of?
Unfortunately, the only German words I know about attitude are all negative. I can give you the Schrodenfreude and the Zeitgeist. I can't give you any of the positives.
Glockenspiel.
My German is limited exclusively to pain.
Oh, I remembered what it was actually though. This might be helpful. I think it's a Danish word and it's like Hag or Hodge or something like Haage, I believe.
Like Haagen-Dazs, yeah.
Yeah,
You might
and
be
it's
right.
and it's like a word for extreme coziness and contentedness or something like
Dude,
that.
did you know, speaking of the Hajj, 1,000 people have died
He-
during the Hajj this year.
Oh, really?
Isn't that nuts?
Heat stroke or
He,
something more sinister?
No, heat stroke.
Okay, good. Well, not good that they're dead. Good that it wasn't, right-wing radicalism.
I was wondering why you wore your clan robe today. Now I know why.
I can't place it. I mean, you identify Italy, and I'm kind of seeing that, but what is this little boy wearing?
He's wearing what Italians wear. He's got like a little Pinocchio hat.
Oh, Papa da Boopy. Oh, we've started early. Nick, I've
Well,
missed
Chris,
you.
don't, man. I'm a terrible person. Don't miss me.
It's not like I've
Now-
been reaching out excessively over the last 6
So
months.
I've given this game 2
Yeah,
minutes.
Sparks. Yeah.
And I know it's January. Oh, by the way, hey Sparks, sorry about that. I'm getting back into the swing of things here. Now I know it's only January, and the Nintendo Direct for June is.
Any
I'm
predictions?
really committed to this. So I mean, I'm predicting that the Nintendo Direct is basically just going to be like a Mario game, a Donkey Kong game, a Zelda game, and like a Metroid game.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? Yeah.
I'm predicting like a sequel to Metroid
Whoop-de-doo.
Federation Force.
I
Because
mean,
everyone loved that
hypothetically-
so much.
But maybe they'll surprise us, and Metroid Prime 4 will look so good that we'll suspect that it's actually running on the Switch 2, but we won't actually get any gameplay. We'll just get cutscenes.
I called your bluff. I think that game's vaporware and is never coming out.
No, but in all seriousness, I was impressed. I don't care about these Nintendo Directs. They're like a free paid commercial.
Right.
It's brilliant marketing, right? But
Oh, totally.
I'll say that Mario Brothership looks interesting.
That looks so cute. Michael is going to love that.
That feels like a Mario Thousand Door for another generation, perhaps. So
It is a
but
similar
I have to
combat
say,
system, if I recall.
it's similar and different enough. So we'll see. I have to say I don't have anything bad to say about the Metroid Prime trailer. I mean, except for the fact I didn't care for Dread 2 or 3, so I don't know. We'll see. But if it's like
you weren't
one,
a fan of Dread.
I didn't care. I got like 4 hours into that game and I just was like, this is nothing. I've seen all this before.
Yeah, I can see that. I love Dread.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I've gotten to a point in my life, and then I'm going to move on to another subject. Like, I can't playing the same thing over and over again just does not hold my attention. Like, I've seen this before. I've played it. Go around the map. It's 2D. Fight bosses. Get the charge beam. Move on.
Heck.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, I totally get you, but at the same time, I'm one of those people that the Metroid formula doesn't really wear off on me. So like if it's more of what I love and it's well executed, then I'm willing to tolerate it.
Here's the thing.
It's supposed to be anyway.
Is this spraying water underwater?
Yes, and I believe we have a suit that allows us to breathe underwater.
It's like a SpongeBob episode.
Oh crap, look at that. Our little neck thing spins and we can swim super fast. Look at this. How adorable is this?
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get like in front of my gigantic TV because I cannot make out these details. This guy's like 4 pixels where I'm sitting.
You're saying for your birthday this year, Nick, you would like a computer monitor that you could have like right in front of your face.
A bigger TV, I think, is the answer.
Bigger
TV.
You just want one screen for all of your viewing.
Actually, yeah, I did all of my tax returns on this 75-inch TV in front of my couch. So
shit, 75. How much bigger can you go?
Apparently 5 more inches, but it will cost $500 more.
Right. You want the Samsung wall,
over
yeah.
In China. Did I tell you about my tax business this year?
Wait, like as in your own independent business?
I'm not. Hold on, I'm thinking how much I should say for legal purposes here.
Let's just say I helped some spurious politicians out of some tight spots. Their names rhyme with Ronald Rumpf.
No, I put up. I'm going on a few trips this year, and I need some money, right? And money's fun to have.
On trips,
so yeah. I put up one
advertisement
on Facebook, and I quintupled my client base. I made easily $5,000 this year doing
nice
minimal work during tax season. So.
Good for you, my friend. Okay, it looks kind of like our old one, but a little bit different.
We had a ship already. Why do we need another?
We had a ship at home.
It's not my.
This ship operates slightly differently, but in a familiar way. So what all trips are you taking?
In a way, just different enough to allow us to reuse the assets.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What did you think of the Nintendo Direct that it's probably coming in June?
The one that's probably coming but hasn't yet?
You can drop the bit whenever you want to, by the way.
No, I mean, I was
sake.
Genuinely excited to see Metroid Prime 4. The new Zelda, I think, looks like it has some charm to it.
I'd be a lot more excited for that game, The Legend of Link, if it didn't look like it was like top-down 2D Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
because they were like, get tables and stack up tables and put tables everywhere. I'm like, okay, I'm out. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not for me.
I was gonna say I
want like a. Go ahead.
It'll be as exciting to me as creative as you're able to get with some of the puzzle solutions. Like I can absolutely see stacking tables on tables to get up mountain for the 20th time getting really old.
I don't care. Like, okay, here's the thing. Like, me and Joseph are gradually playing our way through Ocarina of Time again. And
okay. Ocarina.
It's shocking to me how little of that game I remember, but we're having a blast going through it, like seeing how well constructed it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know this is what I grew up with, but like this is what I want more of, right? Like well constructed, intentional laid out dungeons and environments.
Same. Like that's what's
And
exciting.
that's not what this game's gonna be.
See, I'm kind of optimistic that they will return to classic Zelda dungeons. I've got to hold on. How's the volume on your end for the game?
It was. I just had to turn it down on my end, so it's good now.
Okay. Assuming that it's good, Sparks, if you could be our measure here and let us know if it gets too loud, then I will turn it down. But I think I'm okay. But yeah, I mean, if they do go back to traditional dungeons, I will be very happy. But you're right. That was not shown in the
You can't have
preview.
traditional dungeons when you're using tables to solve all the solutions, right?
Well, like I said, it depends on
you
kind of how
can't
clever
have
the
those two
puzzles are.
things. I don't know. I like taking the bow and arrow and like figuring the puzzles out in the dungeon that you get it in, not just like throw stuff everywhere until something works.
Okay. Thanks, Sparks.
I don't know.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't mind though if the system like in combat could be used as more than like summon enemy, but like summon certain items or summon certain weapons. So like summon a sword, summon a bow and arrow, summon bombs. Like that, I think I can see as a reasonable way to use that.
Why? Just let me have bombs. I don't need to summon freaking bombs. Just let me have a bag of them. Like,
Well, I just mean like that would be essentially like the inventory of that game.
yeah, I guess, and it's just one of those things where I just kind of look at it. And I'm like, well, someone
God.
will have fun with this.
Oh God,
It like shredded your.
it did.
Fails.
I went ahead and hit that. How do I repair?
You just got the bad ending, brother.
Yeah, I did. Oh God. Where's
No,
my
I
little...
mean, I guess my last thought on that is like
shit!
I don't.
Nick!
Oh,
Oh no!
okay. Let's focus on this. What's going on here?
I think I was just barely in
Oh.
time.
Good, boy, you almost got clipped by the Clinton Street can opener down the street.
Oh, the Clinton Street can opener.
Yeah, that's what we call the bridge that every delivery truck gets clipped under at least once a week.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. That does make sense. That's clever. That was close. That was closer than I would have liked it to be. Oh, I just realized that this thing here, when my flag on the right gets to the blue, I'm going at max speed. That's cool. They didn't have that in the first game where you could gauge how close you are to maximum speed.
I do appreciate the aesthetic of a game that doesn't give you any instructions, but instead shows you everything.
Yes, I would like to know
rather
how
than
to
tells you.
repair. I'm guessing that's coming up.
That said, that there's also a good way and a bad way to utilize that motif, but
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. There we go. Now we got it. Okay, cool. So this opening area is just introducing the basics of sailing.
yeah, they're not gonna like
Uh-oh.
torpedo your ship or anything at this
Oh,
point.
At this point, it's coming.
Nah, you've got like another like hour before that happens.
Yeah. So let me think here. Zelda, yeah, I can see it going either way. Metroid Prime 4, you're right, they showed no gameplay whatsoever.
No.
But that being said,
No.
it looks a hell of a lot like just regular old Metroid Prime, which is A-okay with me.
I don't know, like Metroid Prime 1 is great. Metroid Prime 2,
It did bear, well, I mean, I guess they all kind of have the same user interface and everything, but it did bear a strong resemblance to 1, is from where I was sitting.
2, I don't know, it could just be me, but 2 just felt like a big chore to play through.
2 was much more slow paced, oftentimes to its detriment. 3 was just Wii controls, and I never even finished it. So
No, I never played that out of, well, exactly. I don't use Wii controls. we don't use those at this house.
Yeah, we don't do Wii controls up in here.
Yeah,
Um,
two felt like a TV show that had been syndicated based on a clever movie, right?
mm,
You still have the same IP and property, but all the quality goes down.
yeah, I can see that. I didn't think 2 was necessarily a bad game. I did play it to completion, but it was certainly nowhere near as memorable as 1. Hey, there's my little fixer. Cool. I got a fixer, Nick. Oh, does my fixer run on fuel? Oh, that's cute. He wears it on his back when he climbs. That's nice.
What's this guy's name? Let's name him.
You do the honors.
Peppino.
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 Peppino's Great Adventure. Peppino goes east. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I know it's only been a couple weeks, Sparks, but how have you been? Feels like it's been months. Just gonna let
Feels
that
like.
simmer in chat for a moment.
I still think we should have done like a whole, play the hits, are they still friends story arc
Behind the laughs.
behind the last. Didn't we do that one time with Knuckles?
Something similar, yeah.
Yeah, you can fix a lot of things, but you can't fix dead.
It fixed a lot of things. Unlike my friendship with Tails.
One day you're working together to stop Dr. Eggman, the next day one of you's dead. That's just life. You can complain about it or you can go on living. Ooh. Okay, I got a little shredded there. Don't quite know
Actually,
how.
I'm really confused here, because didn't Far end with your ship being broken in half?
Correct. This
This
is a
one is
different
broken in half.
This is a different ship.
Why is it aesthetically broken in half?
That's true. Maybe this is the same
like-
ship.
Am I imagining that?
No, I don't think you are. Oh, you know what? Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. This does. Well, no, it kind of looks like the end of. It kind of looks like the propeller of a much bigger ship.
It looks like the ship that broke in half, but it's been kind of repaired. I don't know.
Jerry rigged. Are we allowed to say that on the show?
Not anymore. No. You also can't say gypsy horse.
Gypsy. I don't think I've ever said gypsy horse. What's a
I didn't.
gypsy
I
horse?
never said gypsy horse until they said you couldn't say it anymore.
Probably digging ourselves into a hole here. When I worked at a grocery store, gypsies were a really big problem, and I never in a million years would have guessed.
Strangely enough, I can relate to that. They're well, I don't think they're true gypsies. I think they're imitation gypsies. I'll tell my story after your story.
Well, no, there's no real story to tell. It's just that a lot of days would be spent watching for this like clan of gypsies that would come in, and one of them would cause a very loud, obnoxious distraction. They would like pretend to be sick or get into a fake fight with another person. And during that time, while management was distracted trying to calm the scene, another one would grab like a whole cart full of groceries and just run out the opposite door. And so after like the third or fourth time that happened, it kind of became the younger employees' job to, kind of put their bodies in front of them. They were never armed and they weren't dangerous, but I mean they stole a lot of shit.
They don't pay people. They don't pay us enough to be LP, loss prevention, right?
Yep. At the same time, though, it was kind of a fun challenge, like
Because it wasn't your money involved, right? It was like,
Yeah, right.
those scams. Maybe they'll get away with a cart full of cigarettes. Maybe they won't. Did
All
I
right,
just
I'm
see
gonna-
a horse in the background?
you did, or an elk. It was like,
It
I'm
was a
gonna
fort-
stay on Jimbo today. You stay on what was another Simpsons bully?
It was a
Curly?
quadruped of some kind. Like Ralph.
Ralph wasn't a bully, was he?
he?
That would be funny if Ralph
Jimbo
was a
and
bully. Curly.
Curly. Yeah, his name was Who knows?
Did you say Kuno, like from Ranma?
Nelson. Nelson was
Nelson,
the
yeah.
other bully. Yeah.
I like Kuno though. I can picture Tate Wake Kuno in The Simpsons. Oh man. Let's see here. I feel like something's gonna come out and hit us. We're in the desert this time, Nick. Or canyons, or
There's a lot
Rockies?
of water in this desert.
Yeah, there is. Oh look, that kind of looks like our ship too. Are we gonna connect to something and get a much bigger ship? 'Cause I'd be okay with that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like the game ended with a much bigger ship, but it's fine. I'm not gonna get hung up on that. That was just a narrative device.
Yeah, the ship was his soul or some shit. So, Nick, what are you playing these days in your precious free time?
Let's see here. I don't know. No, because I'm on a huge reading kick. I'm reading a
Ooh.
lot of things these days. I just haven't had much time for games.
That's okay. Reading is good.
Let's see. I played Like a Dragon 7, followed that with Infinite Wealth.
I've got to do Infinite Wealth one of these morns. Right now, I'm ankle deep in Eiyuden Chronicle, which is really good. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Oh, and then I
Stop too
started Like a Dragon Gaiden, and that's basically it.
Okay.
A couple smaller games, but I've been working my way through the Yakuza catalog.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard good things about 100 Heroes. If I had time, I would maybe play that.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's the next time you're up for a god damn it, a decent RP.
Next time you're up for a goddamn good time.
Goddamn good time. Just kind of a PS1 era inspired RPG. You could do worse than Eiyuden Chronicles. It has a couple weaknesses, but I'm getting used to it.
Ah, I see. I'm gonna take a break here and go to the chats. I am doing okay, Sparks. Reading a lot. Sorry to hear about your shoulder. That sucks, but I know you've been bravely combating that for quite a while. So
Ooh, I missed that.
good on
chat.
you.
Yeah, that
Good
sucks.
for you staying in the rat race with us.
That is no fun.
Aren't you glad you made it here to see the wonders of the future with Trump and Biden running along the backdrop of AI slowly taking over the world?
Yeah, I know. Why are we even having an election when our next president is just going to be AI?
Well, to quote Oscar Wilde, if elections mattered, they wouldn't let us vote. So
That's true. Shit.
I've been doing a pretty good job of keeping all of that out of my head, but I will admit, this is the last thing I'll say about politics. I am going to make time next week to tune into the presidential debates. That's
You
gonna
think
be
that's you're of the mind that that's going to happen, huh? Oh God, what's happening, Nick?
Yes, I am.
Oh shit. Why is the ground shaking?
I
What-
think it's the ocean that you got to worry about, brother.
What just happened?
So
Are we about to be attacked? Sorry.
I'm
go
gonna
on.
make an effort here to actually concentrate on what's going on second thought. Oh, it was nothing. Okay.
Okay, it's just a foreboding rumble. I vote Dolly Parton for president. Yeah. Yeah. This is.
So
I just can't do another 4 years of Trump. I just can't.
I've been working on books, right? I have an all-time personal best of having read 36 books in 1 year. I'm trying to beat that record. I'm at 31 right now.
Oh, nice.
5 more to go. Yeah, yeah. Really
5 more to
reading.
go until you reach your goal for the year, huh? That's nice.
I want to obliterate the record, but I
Yeah.
have found this wonderful series. You may or may not like it. Have you ever heard of the Dresden Files?
Have you told me about them before? Because the name sounds familiar.
Here's the thing: is if being that it's January, I've probably only read the first book, and I would have hated it at that point.
Oh, okay.
Give me
so
a
maybe
few
not.
more months, yeah, and it would have been something I really liked.
Interesting. Okay.
It is about a wizard who lives in early 2000s Chicago, solving crimes and mysteries. It's like a fairy tale procedural drama.
Okay, then no, I am totally unfamiliar with it because that sounds like a totally foreign concept to me.
I highly recommend it. The first 2 books are not good, but they're also very short.
Okay.
My brother Joseph loves this series, and I kind of read it because I wanted to like share that with him. I was like, "Oh, Joseph, this isn't good. I hate this." But
Oh, Sparks has heard of it.
you give it a little bit. Oh, good. Have you read it, Sparks? You give it a little bit longer, and it gets a lot better. Eventually, he picks up like a side character who's like Michael the priest. He's absolutely hilarious. I love him. Um, you've got a pack of werewolves that are endearing. Couple necromancers. It turns into a really fun series once the writer kind of figures out his strengths as a
Okay.
penman.
Very
So
nice. I will
it
have
takes
to...
a while, but the payoff is worth it.
Excellent. I've
By
been
the
reading
way,
a whole bunch of random things.
yeah, give me
Um,
your last three.
my last three. Hold on a sec. I've got to figure out how this works. Um,
Oh, by the way, no, hold on. Let me let you answer the question that I posed.
oh, you're good. My last three were. Did we just move from a boat to a train? We
No,
did.
you're on an aircraft carrier headed for the Persian Gulf.
My last three books, of which I'm actually in the process of finishing the third one right now, even though it's really short. 2001: A Space Odyssey. I'm almost done with that, and
How is that? Because that's on my list of things to read.
it is well worth reading, especially if you've seen and pondered the film.
I have not, but that can be fixed within 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. It's a classic Kubrick film, and it's very good. And the book lends some much needed context and insight for some of the things that you see in the film, which Kubrick had the tendency to be weird for the sake of weird a lot of times. Um,
Kind
I,
of like Cronenberg.
yeah, a little bit. Like if
Yeah.
you've seen A Clockwork Orange, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Um,
Yeah.
but the book, I mean, it's just vintage classic sci-fi with an emphasis on the sci. Um, and I really
Oh,
enjoyed it.
I'm sorry. I thought you were being super clever and spelled that as Sigh, S-I-G-H.
No, sorry, sci isn't
That,
science.
that's how I would describe the Dune movies, but anyways.
Oh yeah, we never watched Dune 2 Part 2 together.
That's alright, I still haven't watched it. So that
Period,
can still happen.
It's okay. I didn't expect you to hang on that long for me.
Huh?
I said it's okay. I didn't expect you to hang on that long for me.
What are you talking about?
Dune 2.
What about it?
You've watched it, correct?
No, I said I have not watched it.
Oh, you haven't. Oh, well.
No, not at all.
Strangely, neither have I, so we should watch
I'll-
it together.
Neither did my brother, strangely enough. No, it's just like one of those things. Everyone was like going ape over the movie. I was like, "That's
It's got
don't-
Zendaya and that pretty woman
you
that
guys
looks like
don't
a man.
understand what this movie's."
Oh
what
no,
the
sorry,
book
that was
was
Timothy
about.
Chalamet.
It's fine.
Okay, yeah, I guess we're just leaving our boat behind.
That's fine. I didn't like it anyway. To be honest, I didn't want to start like drama, but I never liked that.
I never liked that boat.
Side note, Sparks, that is very interesting. I'm going to a con in about a month, and I was actually going to
Ah,
also cosplay Harry Dresden, so that is
Interesting.
hilarious.
two Harry Dresdens. Yeah, it's up to the viewers to guess which one's male and which one's female. Oh crap!
The audience has decided, and you are not Harry Dresden.
Oh,
Cries, runs back behind stage.
right. Okay, now this is starting to feel more like what we're used to from Far. So we jump
Yes,
on
the
this
classic-
in order to get
The
the feel.
classic Far game loop.
Yep, we got the loop. The other two
You'd think
books.
used thing.
The other two books I read were Wise Man's Fear, the sequel to
That's
Name
part
of
of
the Wind.
the. Yeah,
the King
the
Killer
the-
Chronicle. Yes.
Yes. Okay,
What the hell?
cool. What's the third one?
Trust by Hernan Diaz, which is totally unrelated to anything currently popular in the cultural zeitgeist, but is a phenomenal book, and I highly recommend it.
Give me the elevator speech. What's it about?
Okay, so it's kind of four stories rolled into one that all
Oh, God,
encircle
here we go.
the central story, which is the story of a very wealthy man who whose wife succumbs to mental illness during a time in history when they didn't know how to treat mental illness, and so like
Give me the period this takes place in.
Great Depression.
Okay, go on.
So he's extremely wealthy. He survives the depression because of some questionable business practices. don't quite know what to do with this. No? Yes? Okay, we're moving backwards. And essentially, like, you get kind of this biographical take on the events surrounding her death right at the beginning. And then part 2 of the story is you learning that the characters, as they were presented in the first part, it's not quite how it went down. And the wealthy man from the first part of the story is kind of writing his own version of events. But you can tell, like, in this version that, he's, like, redacting a whole bunch of stuff, and he's presenting, like, an extremely sanitized version of what went down. And then from part 3, which is where most of the story develops, you are seeing it through the eyes of the secretary who he paid to record his version of events. And she kind of starts giving insight that, well, like, he's, like, redacting a whole bunch of crap. He's not being totally honest. And essentially he has the wealth and influence to make all of his naysayers and other people who disagree with him disappear, right?
Like William Randall Hearst. Okay,
yeah,
so this is basically why Sargasso Sea. Okay.
Yeah. And so part 4, I'm not going to spoil because that's kind of where everything comes to a head.
That there is like a little imp living in his closet, and he's like, "Let me tell you how it all went down."
Yes, that's exactly what
I was
happens.
there in the closet the entire time.
Yeah.
Your reputation won't survive this, Mr. Hearst.
But yeah, it's an extremely good book. It's also a pretty short read too.
That's good. I have an appreciation for that. I'm finding that I like to gravitate towards 10-hour books. 15 is fine. 20 is just kind of getting pretentious.
This might be closer to the 12 to 15 mark, but it does not overstay its welcome.
All right, well, those all sound like some solid reads.
Yes, though I will say Wise Man's Fear is absolutely a Sanderson length. Oh, hey, we do get our boat back. Look at that.
Oh, we had to replace the power core.
Oh,
okay.
The train was just a vehicle to get fuel to the boat. Interesting. Here I thought this was going to be our... Okay.
That they had to replace the power cord, just like in Fallout, the Amazon series, now available to Amazon Prime members.
On Amazon.
I watched it. It was okay.
Oh, was it? I didn't give it a chance.
It was fine.
I'll have to check it out. If
yeah, but here's the thing. Like, you know me,
stone cold cynic like you could find something to enjoy. I'll have to check it out.
Chris, I didn't say I enjoyed it. I said it was fine.
That's for you. For you, man, that might as well be the Bible.
They spent $150 million on it, and
it was fine.
I was like,
it's fine. Would have been better if God didn't take so long to show up.
Here's the thing: is it did have the main character in it. Well, not the main character. Well, the main character is good. I like Emily Purnell in that, but
okay.
The bounty hunter,
point.
the ghoul, Walter Goggins, I believe. I've been a big fan of his for years, and he's got a central starring role in this series, and I love the fact that he gets the attention he deserves as an actor.
Oh, good. Okay. Sparks makes a good point, actually. You know,
that it was okay.
It's okay. Is high praise. When you consider the amount of absolute dross that comes out, it's okay. Means there was honest effort put into it.
I don't accept that. Like, I don't know. Like, someone says like The Acolyte was okay or something like that. I'm so through with mediocrity.
Oh, I've been following.
I don't.
That thing's crucifixion.
I don't have.
The Acolyte. I've been following its public crucifixion.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't watched an episode of it because I just can't bring myself.
It's not pretty on either side. But I don't know. Sometimes I think Disney does some of this stuff specifically to invalidate any criticism of anything they put out, or just because it gets more viewership. I don't know. Get people outraged and looking at it.
Yes, outrage is exactly what I was going to suggest. I would not be at all surprised if what the fuck is this vessel? If a large part...
Why is there like 7 ways in and out?
Right? I would truly not be surprised if... Am I stupid, Nick? If what they were doing was not intentionally creating a series that they know is not good so that people can get outraged by it and then give them an excuse to like completely reboot the series and kind of have a license to, do whatever the hell they want with it.
I don't know. I'm of the mindset of always expecting competence before malfeasance, right? Because it's really easy to be dumb.
Huh.
It's a lot harder to be sinister.
Weirdly,
I just don't think
you and I are the opposite in that respect. You would think it would be the other way around.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You'd be surprised how much
shit.
evil is done just because people are dumb. But,
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, quick side note. Sparks, what have you been reading as of late? I don't want to leave you out of the conversation. But anyways.
We're
But
cooking with
no,
fire
I just
now.
yeah. I have some of the things I've read. Obviously, the Dresden Files, but I did read Ghost Story. Thank you for that.
Ooh, okay. But
And I don't know if you want to
I
talk
won't make
about that
you start
here or
yet.
not.
I really
Yeah.
do. I've been
I
waiting to
also
talk
read
to you about that one.
The sequel to Hyperion as well as the Sympathizer, but yeah, I've read a lot.
So when you
I'm
say
reading,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
When you
No,
say
I was
the
gonna say
sequel to
I've,
Hyperion, sorry, just to answer this quick question. When you say the sequel to Hyperion,
Book
2. you mean book 2, not Endymion.
Book 2, right?
Okay, cool.
I will not be going any further because it sounds like at this point all of my questions have been answered, and I don't care. It sounds like the plot to Dune 4, which I've already read. So
You know what's kind of funny is that I'm in the same boat. I was so satisfied with the end of Hyperion that I'm actually afraid to pick up Endymion because I'm worried that it will undo some of the goodwill those two books have in my heart right now.
yeah, well, I mean, hey, just because the Acolyte sucks doesn't mean Episode 4 is any worse, right? Sorry, I got to take in my easy digs there, but
What could be worse than that?
I've dipped my toes into so many series right now that like if it's not something that is of interest, I don't see any point in continuing it. At least not currently.
Okay.
That there's just so many other like fresh, interesting things that I want to get to next. So
I gotcha.
I did read The Sympathizer though, like right before the HBO series came out.
Oh, cool. That's another one that I've long wanted to discuss with you. I'm glad you picked that one up.
Yeah, I did read it. So
I liked it. It was a unconventional and I don't know. I found it challenging, but not like challenging as in I don't understand what's going on. Just like I don't know. Like it was so parts of the book were so laborious, and I'm having trouble describing this in a positive way. Some parts of that book were such a difficult parts for me to get through, simply because I enjoyed the protagonist and like the way that life could, kind of consistently shit on him was could be tiring. Particularly near the end, which I'm not sure I want to give away since there's a big series of it coming out, or currently out.
I've heard that it's not entirely faithful to the book. So.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess
Robert Downey Jr. apparently plays 4 different roles, and he's not the Vietnamese guy. I don't
God
understand.
for that, at least.
Yeah, right.
Because he hasn't shown that level of restraint before.
So
that's not always a given with RDJ.
Is it Robert Downey Jr. that's in that series? Am I?
Yeah, no, you're correct.
Right?
It's Robert Downey Jr. What is this?
Okay,
do?
that didn't feel right. Okay, all right.
What the hell am I doing here? What does this thing do? Can you figure out what this is?
That like green thing?
This is my repair bot.
Yeah,
that looks.
Well, it's like sucking things in. So maybe that's like supposed to, like maybe that's your water pump. Okay. Like go into the basement with it. Suck out the ocean.
Oh.
Oh, well, it didn't.
Oh
work.
God.
All right, they don't want you doing that, I guess.
What's this thing in the center?
A radar?
This is strange. I'm not sure what to do with this. Yeah.
Wait. Is that dot getting closer to you? Is it a radar?
I'm wanting to turn. How do I turn off the engine?
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
man.
so that's off.
Here's the thing: is like all these colors just kind of like bleed together because they're all kind of like washed out.
Okay, now it's spraying water.
Douse
the engine to keep it cooled. Okay.
Oh, just like in the first game, except I can
And
tell
okay,
you
so
what's going on.
now it's a vacuum. Left is a vacuum, right is a hose. I need to fill it with water. I need to get water.
Time is a river, life is a journey, the door is ajar.
Time is money, money is power, power is pizza, pizza is knowledge.
Yeah, something like that.
What's this thing? Sounds like the start of it. It says, "Hey, what do you think this does?"
Those sound like some interesting books, by the way, there, Sparks. I believe I remember you talking about Miss Marble back
Oop.
a while ago. Something about House of Kids,
Agatha
like
Christie. Ooh.
X-Men?
I haven't read a whole lot of Agatha Christie except for like what was required for like some high school courses that
I've
took.
heard that they were... Are those the mystery murder novels?
Yes,
and like A is for Apple, M is for murder, or something?
Oftentimes very ahead of their time too, which is cool.
Yeah.
Intelligence is pizza. Correct, Sparks. Okay, I need to get out of the boat and actually figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just trying to figure out how the boat works.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not exactly being helpful as
No,
far
it's
as this
good.
goes.
It is a more complex machine than the first one, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it needed to be, but it certainly is.
Is this a light? This is a light. Is it a light? I'm gonna treat it like a light. All right. Murder mysteries, yes, very good. I feel like because it's been so long since we've gamed together, we've got like a couple of different topics running at once. So I'm gonna let you address the one that's most interesting to you, Nick.
The economy?
The economy. What about this housing market?
Nah, I just
Am I gonna die?
yes, if you don't
Ooh.
move. You knocked over that water tower. Will Smith was in there taking a bath, you monster.
Eating spaghetti.
Do you know he passed on Wild Wild West? Or he passed on The Matrix in order to star in Wild Wild West?
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what to do with that information because knowing what we now know about Will Smith and his temperament, that seems right about par for the course.
I
for him.
mean, he's no worse than anyone else in Hollywood, right?
Okay, I didn't say I wanted it to start. Okay. Good. 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 Stay there. Yeah, no, but I mean he's an interesting character. And I mean that not entirely positive.
But anyways, throw a dart at the board and I'll talk about whatever it hits.
Okay, well the big thing that I really want to talk about is your reaction to Ghost Story.
I mean, yeah, we can we can do that here if you want.
But bear in mind, your response to that book may make or break my entire week. Because I will come out
Let's
first.
talk about The Sympathizer.
I'll come out.
Let's
I'll
talk
come out
about The
first.
Sympathizer.
Yeah, it was a book. He's a communist sympathizer. He's got 2 personalities. What do you want? Possibly 3 by the end of the book. We don't know.
Maybe.
I guess I'll have to read The Committed and figure that out.
Nope. Nope.
Nope. You were good with The Sympathizer.
Nope. But
Nope. Really, I enjoyed it overall. It was just a
what a big piece of shit. No,
Huh.
I'm sorry. that's
that's
always
cool.
my review for everything.
That's good, man.
It was
I'm
fine.
happy.
I didn't really get anything out of it, and I knew I wouldn't because I remember this book being. And by the way, I'm glad you recommended it because I did have fun with it. It's been on my list ever since I heard it on NPR, which meant it probably was going to be a shit read in my book. But anyways, sorry, I've always got to take a moment to take a dig at NPR.
Yeah, no, take the piss out of them. They need it sometimes.
No, it was fine. Like the central premise about him, and I don't know, maybe this is just an example of Nick as an idiot. Maybe the central premise of him being a double agent, maybe it went over my head, but I didn't really see that play into the plot very much.
Well,
like
what I thought
he's
was,
a double agent, but it never comes up in the narrative. Just like, I wrote some letters.
Yeah, what I thought was great about it though, what was that he was a really terrible double agent, and the Colonel was just a moron, and that he was. It's like the whole time I was reading it, I was like, this is Ted Wasanasan, isn't it?
Yeah, but it wasn't like funny enough. He wasn't incompetent enough to be like funny. I don't know. I was just very confused by the whole thing.
Okay.
It's kind of like how
it could definitely be
Severian.
confusing.
It's kind of like how Severian has perfect recall and that he's in a perfect position to be an unreliable narrator,
Hmm.
but that never comes up in any of the four novels. They like don't do anything with that premise. That's how I felt about the Sympathizer.
You're right.
It
They
was
don't
about a
really go
double
anywhere
agent.
with that, do they?
No, they didn't. Like I was expecting this to be like, okay, if I was writing this story, I would be talking about two separate characters throughout the book, and then at the end I would reveal they were the same character. That's what I would have done.
Okay.
Um,
Hey, there. We go.
that would have been how I handled it.
Streamline this a little bit.
And then like the last third of the book just becomes like 1984 wannabe. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I-
true.
I
You're right.
didn't
It was almost shot
understand.
for shot what happened at the end of 1984, wasn't it?
yeah, just Vietnamese and less interesting than what actually happened in the aftermath of the Vietnam War. Which
Oh, look at that.
I guess I'm kind of down on that because I did my capstone on American foreign policy during the 1970s. So I don't know.
Nice.
Maybe I just know more about the Vietnam War than the Vietnamese author. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
right. What would he
But
know?
no, but to be completely honest, like some of the writing was fun. I liked how he was hired on. Like the book shined when he was doing stuff like being the movie consultant about how to be actual.
That was my favorite part.
That was the only good thing in that book, right? That was great. Like when
It
when
came
he
out
was
of left
writing
field
like
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's my theory: is that I feel like this book started like with that idea.
Yes,
and he kind
me
of worked his
too.
way
I
out.
felt like that was
Yeah.
the book he wanted to write, and he took too long getting there.
hmm
And then like,
That's why it's
clearly,
so
like the
prominent.
torture thing was where it was going. But you're right. It
Yeah.
took really long to get into what I thought was the meat of the plot, which was his brief movie consultant career.
Yeah,
There
I
it
could've
almost took
done-
like a Catch Me If You Can kind of vibe, where
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I felt like the best parts of the book was at that particular part of the narrative, and I would have
Agreed.
loved to have seen more of that.
agreed.
Um,
And knowing RDJ, that's probably what he'll probably emphasize in that series, because that seems to be where all of the comedy gold is. Okay, ground is moving again. Oh, shit. Okay.
oh no, it's the rumbling is happening. It's falling
rum-
apart.
I got rumblies. Rumblies in my tomblies. Why did I combine Winnie the Pooh with a Cockney accent?
Oh, it's over with. Okay,
Yes,
that's good. I
it's
got nervous there.
definitely
Something
over with.
happened, and I got nervous.
Eh.
I did just but no, that's like I said, it was a book. I'm glad I read it because now I've read it. Now everybody who talks about it like it's this masterpiece, I can just say, oh, okay, you don't read books,
Oh,
do you?
I certainly don't think it's a masterpiece, but I enjoyed it for
NPR
what it
did.
was. Well, like, they think anything that talks about the voice of a disenfranchised immigrant is going to be pure
Right.
gold. Which,
Well, put your
don't get me
sail
wrong,
down. Put your sail
God,
down.
I thought I
Oh.
did.
Oh, there's no penalty. It's fine. It's like when every time I walked into a Barnes and Noble 4 years ago, everyone was like, "You have got to read The Devil in the White City." It's like, I did. It was a big piece of shit. Half of
See,
the book.
I thought, okay, thank you. I was going to say, I really enjoyed parts of Devil in the White
Everything
City.
that didn't involve the murderer was great.
The Chicago World Fair was a really freaking fascinating time in
Dude,
history.
just give me that portion as well as the insurance agent tracking the serial killer down at the end of the book. That all
Right.
was great. Dude, did you know that the same people who made Until Dawn also made? I think we talked about this.
There it
They made a game where you play as H.H. Holmes in like his murder house.
Yes,
Like
pretty
how
recently too,
fucking
right?
insensitive is that? Yeah, I would like to see the review scores on that. That's like, I don't know, man. That's like Jeffrey Dahmer, where you're like trying to hide the bodies as a video game or something.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I think eventually you play as the character who helps capture, or no, I think it transitions like to the future, and oh god, what have I done?
Are we going forwards or backwards?
I think I fucked up.
No, I think this is what they want.
Should I shut this down here?
Boy, he's looking as lifeless and frail as that squid that the main character and sympathizer fucked.
Oh. Uh-oh.
You-
Well, Nick, this was a fun game.
All right, well, it was a lot shorter than I thought, but
Did I just game over?
was that like a 2-minute long cutscene of you dying? No, you're gonna get an achievement in like 3 seconds.
Oh, nope, you're right. We're back. We're back. Like, what the hell was that all about? Well, at least now we know why the ground was rumbling. All right, so I'm not letting you escape without giving me at least your cursory thoughts on Ghost Story.
Oh man, come on! How much time do we have? Well, I can talk about this if you want. If
I
we've got
really
the
want.
time.
This is a book that came totally out of left field for me, and I really would
How did you
love your
find out
take
about
on it.
this book?
It was a random ass bookstore pickup. I saw it in
Interesting.
Morgenstern's one day. It wasn't even on a front display. I was literally just browsing horror, and I'm like, ooh, this is kind of a meaty looking horror novel.
You
And-
do find good stuff that way.
You do. And I was like, Peter Straub, I've heard of him before. I hadn't read any of his other works, but like I'd heard the name, and I'm like, okay.
What has he read? What has he wrote?
I don't know. I just heard his name before, and like I said, I haven't read any of his other books, and so I'm like, well, let's give it a shot. And I had such a fun time with that book, and I'm sure it's not meant to be described as a fun time, but I enjoyed the hell out of that book.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Here.
You go on now. Go ahead and dash me against a stone here.
Peter Straub. Let's see what else he wrote.
I know he did something like side by side with Stephen King, like they co-wrote a
Yeah,
book
it was
together.
called The Talisman.
Oh, okay. Yep, I've vaguely heard of it. Never read
Yeah,
it.
his okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. Because he very much feels like a Stephen King writer.
Yes, but I will also say that don't get me wrong, I actually like a lot of Stephen King stuff, but I kind of get the feeling like Peter Straub is what we'd get if Stephen King were more deliberate in a lot of his projects. like Stephen King has a way of writing that's like, I'm going to put everything that pops into my head out there, and if it's good, great. If it's not, I'll write 50 other books until one of them is great again. Whereas Peter Straub, I feel like, and this is just my reaction having read none of his other things, like I get the feeling that Ghost Story was very much a labor of love and not just his next book.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet if I sat down and read all 32 of the books that Peter Straub has written, this would probably be like, this is the one. This is what he was trying to write the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like
this is
it
his
for
magnum
King.
opus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say I disagree a bit. I like Stephen King because reading Stephen King is like being in a room with a crackhead.
Oh yeah. Well, for a large
because,
part of
like-
his career, he was a great.
Yeah, because like he's like reading a
thanks for
Stephen
moving.
King novel, it's like a drug addict is just broken into my house and I'm trapped in the corner and he's like brandishing a knife and he's
He's
like
just telling
doing a
you
bunch
things
of
that he thinks are important.
yeah, he's just like mumbling a bunch of gibberish and some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. Like he has no pants on, he's waving the knife around.
Your
gets
your
closer,
job
gets
is to
further
keep
away.
him calm until he's done.
Yeah, until the police get here or he leaves, one of the two. That's what reading a Stephen King novel feels like, a very real sense of danger.
Yeah.
I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm not wrong. Also,
No,
you know
I feel
what?
it.
Put the
And
fire
don't
out
get me
in your
wrong.
engine.
Like I'm speaking negatively right now of King just
Um,
because of how burnt out I can be on some of his books.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of what he's written.
Seriously, put the fire out in your engine. But I mean that's the thing. Like when I read a King novel, I do have a palpable sense of danger and unease, and I think it comes from that
Yeah.
kind of instability. So that's a plus for him in my book.
Yeah, absolutely. What I enjoyed more about Ghost Story than I do with your average King novel is whereas King's characters tend to fall in one of a couple of familiar archetypes for him, and I should really reinforce the fact that Straub may be doing this same thing, and I'd be totally unaware because I've only read one of his books. I got super attached to the group of curmudgeonly old men that were the center of the story. I
That
really
was
liked
def-
those characters.
That was very interesting to, because I happen to have a great like for when a book focuses on older characters.
Yeah. And, like, they would-
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Maybe that was Like a Dragon 7, where you play as essentially 3 homeless men in their
Yeah,
early
right.
50s, right? You don't see that very often with our obsession with youth, which
No.
is often vapid and boring. I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of the book.
Absolutely, me too. And I thought, not only did their flaws present as realistic, but it made the parts where their virtues showed up that much more compelling. And like the two characters who die pretty much at the outset of the plot, by the end of it, because you've become so enmeshed in the lives of the remaining characters, you feel like you miss them too. And you know, he doesn't use the deaths of characters for shock value. Like they pack the appropriate impact.
No, this
When
is
they
one of those
occur.
books where when characters died, I felt bad for the most part. I was very endeared to the Chowder Club.
Yes, the Chowder Club, the Chowder Society. Yes.
Oh yeah, whoops. I was thinking
Yeah,
of the
the same thing.
Breakfast Club. Sorry.
The Breakfast Club, the Chowder
Whoops.
Club.
My bad.
It's just
My
a
bad.
group of guys that come together and eat chowder.
Man, I think this library is haunted. We got to take care of this as the Breakfast Club.
Let me go get my talking dog and my hemp van. Now, did I imagine it, or did it automatically take in fuel at one point? Like down here, it
I
sucks
think
it
you
in,
had
right?
to keep. I think you had to keep feeding it like Energon cubes.
Hold on a sec. There it is. That's how. Okay. Figured it out. Now we're good. Anyways, yeah, I really was not expecting a horror novel where the lives of the grumpy old men who drive the plot forward would be more interesting to me than the actual ghost plot itself. And I admittedly enjoyed the ghost plot too.
Well, how much time do we have? Because like, do we want to talk about this and have a full discussion, or?
I'm willing to do like a 50-50 thing. Like if you want to get some of your early thoughts out there, and then we kind of come back to the main driving force of
Man,
the
I don't know.
plot
You know
later.
how I am. I'm like a fire hose. It all has to get out full blast.
Hey, go for it. We've still got maybe 10-15 minutes of the episode as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, all right.
Sparks is close
I
to
enjoyed
dozing
it.
off.
Nah, I feel you. I don't know if it's just me, but this heat is really, really taking it out of me.
Fucking heat, man. It's not good.
And I've got a trip that I'm taking up to Michigan next week, and it's like, I don't want it to be broiling hot.
Yeah,
I don't
especially
know.
in
we
Michigan.
might be by a beach, so.
There you go.
Anyways,
Well, give me one highlight of the book that you actually got some enjoyment out of.
I was waiting for you to pin me down. I was being intentionally coy the entire time.
Yeah.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed that you recommended this book to me. This felt, and I am not surprised at all that he collaborated with Stephen King. This felt like Stephen King if they were old but lesser. So if you, instead of kids fighting a scary clown, it was a bunch of old men fighting a scary clown, right?
But fighting a
Even
scary
down to
woman.
Yeah, even down to the opening of the book, opening with one of the main characters having died, right?
Yeah, under like
the way up
really
to that.
mysterious circumstances. Yeah, that's I
They
enjoyed
even refer to the entity as it by the 75% mark.
it. Do, don't they?
They certainly do, because I note things like that. Yeah. Here's the thing: is man, so there's this really neat thing that the book does at the 50% mark, where, because I thought that this was a totally straight-faced murder mystery. I didn't think there was any supernatural aspects. And they're like very coy about what's going on until they get to the train
How do
station.
I turn this off? Yes.
And the witch kills someone, and then all of a sudden it's like, surprise, this is a real ghost story.
Right.
I thought that was a really cool plot device. That was really cool. Like all of a sudden it does a genre shift.
Yep.
That was neat.
I really one of my favorite parts was the flashback to when Sears was younger, and a school
Yes.
teacher. And
Again, I feel like that was one of the starting points because that was the strongest part of the novel.
it really was. Like, it starts out like quaint, rural, school teacher in Days Gone By kind of thing. And it's like, and then his liberal use of the word retarded to describe that boy. I'm like, oh my God.
I happen to like stuff like that when it's actually true to the time.
To the time, yeah. But it made you feel uncomfortable. It was kind of like you were listening to your grandpa tell a story that
You
was
should
like
feel uncomfortable, yeah.
really important to him, but you're kind of like, okay, grandpa, let's wrap it up. But then like the deeper he gets into the story, it's like, oh, something actually screwed up is happening here, and I have no idea how it relates to the rest of the tale that's being told. But it's clearly important because you're dwelling on it for a while, and it just keeps getting more and more disturbing. And yeah, I thought that was masterfully executed.
Yeah, things it did well, it did really well. But like I said, this is like a carbon copy of it, just respectfully shorter, and a bit more focused. I really liked the stuff towards the end of the book where the town is just kind of going nuts, which Stephen King seems to like to do. That there was kind of like that was hinted at with Derry
Yes.
in it, except this was much more pronounced, and I thought it was more interesting because it kind of had a ticking clock element by virtue of like how long can we go in the snowstorm, right?
The snowstorm too. Yeah, that was an interesting
Yeah,
sequence.
like I said, the strong points were definitely very strong. I felt that the villain was incredibly weak in this book.
The villain was the
It's-
weakest part.
Yeah, it was like it if you didn't understand the point of the book. What I liked about it in the actual book, it was the clown had specific weak. Okay, side note, horror I only like good horror for me has to have rules, right? Like you have to figure out what rules that the entity is bound by. If it's like, oh, the entity can take 1,000 bullets and he doesn't take damage and he can phase shift through walls
Yeah.
and he can hear your thoughts anywhere, then it's like, oh, okay, well then there's no stakes because I don't understand how this works.
Yeah, and I agree. My issue with, and I'm just gonna call the villain a succubus because I don't have a better word for it.
Doesn't
but-
even have the powers of a succubus, but hold
No,
on,
it
I want to
doesn't.
finish my thought real quick.
Yes, please.
With the thing with it was like, okay, when he turns into a werewolf, he's bound by the weaknesses of a werewolf. You shoot him with a silver bullet. That's cool. That makes sense. There's no rhyme or reason to any of the weaknesses of the villains. Like,
Correct. And
they're
I
just
get
like
the
all powerful and they're always there. But go on.
I get the feeling that Straub's intent with that was to make the villain frighteningly unknowable, but there's
that's you have to
saying
do
less
that
and then they're
very
saying
carefully.
nothing. Yeah. I
You
think
have to
saying
be
less
very
can
careful
be
about that.
right. I think saying less can be really effective in not over explaining your terrifying monster. But if you don't give the audience anything, I want that back. If you don't give the audience anything, wait, hold on, maybe I can get it back. I can. Okay. Then
smash
you
it.
just end up with a monster that it doesn't even feel okay. I can't get it back. Damn. It just doesn't feel like an important part of the plot by the end.
Yeah, to your point, it can that can also be like, oh, it's unknowable, you can't fathom or understand it. Well, that can also just be weak writing at work too.
Yeah.
Like you have to be very careful about that.
Which
And when
is-
they're talking about how to
Yeah.
destroy it, they never elaborate. They're just like, I guess we just beat the shit out of it.
Yeah, they're just
I
shooting in the
guess,
dark.
I don't know.
And
And that's the thing. Like sometimes bullets work, sometimes they don't.
right. Like shoot the links. That's what they were latching onto at the end, right? Well, like how do we know that would have even done anything? We don't. It's not like they ever
Right, they-
found out exactly what they were
Exactly,
dealing
exactly.
with. I did hate the villain because of what she did to the men, but I never like felt
It
like
was
an
a boring
actual
motivation.
yeah,
she
an
was like,
actual
"Hey,
sense
I'm
of
gonna dance."
satisfaction at attacking it, right?
I'm gonna like dance like a hoe and try to sleep with you. Let's
Poor
beat the
Lewis.
shit out of this lady.
Yeah. Let's accidentally kill this whore.
Right.
Oh, God. Well, and yeah,
yeah.
for a lot of that too, it's like, are we sure you guys didn't just screw up?
I was real okay. Like when they just kind of do a deadpan of like when John is talking to Sears and Ricky, and he's like, "What did you do to make this lady so mad?" And like Sears is just deadpan, "We killed her."
Yep.
I got a big smile on my face. It's like,
Me
oh
too.
man, don't go back and then sanitize this and then like sand down the corners. And then they sanded down
Yeah,
the
I can zoom
corners.
in.
Like, I just wanted it to be like a thing like, yeah, we killed her. We're not proud of it, but we killed her and we buried her body and they built a Kmart on top of her. I wanted it to be like really dark, but it was like, oh, it was justified. Okay.
Yeah, I know. At the end, it was justified, right?
Yeah.
But you know, it did go a long way to explain some of Lewis's kind of like sexual hang-ups and just, you know, why he was essentially the Boomhauer of the group.
I don't know, man. That seemed like the solution, but I just think that the author was horny, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
'cause
as all
one of
good
the things
authors are.
seen with men authors is like, and I don't know, asexual talking. Like, men just can't seem to restrain themselves. I don't know. I'm still emotionally scarred from Carbon Copy, Altered Carbon's like 20-page long graphic sex scene.
Oh my god, yeah. I keep forgetting
was
that I
like one of the
gifted
most-
you that book.
Yeah, another excellent read, by the way.
I'm glad because I was really worried that would completely turn you off. And it's like, this is just Chris just bought me porn.
No, you said something really clever about 2 years ago where you said like I think a lot of these guys just wrote porn before they got big in sci-fi, and
I think they did.
I have kind of noticed that as a reoccurring theme in sci-fi. I don't think you're wrong. So, I don't know.
I need to know what I'm doing wrong here. Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like
But,
there's
no.
supposed to be a really obvious connection point that I'm missing.
Yeah, just shove one boat into the other boat until they
Until they
connect
become
and
one
they
boat.
click.
Yeah, right.
Until the achievement pops.
Until it's the same boat.
Until the achievement pops that says "Together Forever," and
Yep.
then you know you've got it. But no, like I said, I really liked it. It felt like it light, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, fun read. I'm glad I read it. I can't say that about every book I've read this year.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you found enjoyment from it because
And
that was probably
it
my
meant even
good.
it meant even more to me because a friend gave it to me, and I
Oh, good.
I esteem that stuff. Like if someone gives me a book to read or like a recommendation, I try real hard to make sure I read that within 6 months because that means a lot to me when somebody like thinks about me enough
There we
to
go.
do that.
It also helped me that Ricky really reminded me of you by the end of the book.
All patched up. I was close. I was close. It
Yep.
played out exactly like I said.
All patched up. That's exactly
It
what
didn't
happened.
say together forever, but it was close. I thought for sure that you thought I was Sears, but that's fine.
Well, so definitely parts of Sears, but Sears had the saving, the fatal flaw of not listening to Ricky, and that's what got him killed.
That's fair.
You would absolutely be the one that like everyone discounts until like the chips are down, and then you're the only one who survives.
Hey, wait a sec, guys.
not to
We should have
give.
been listening to him all along.
It's like, oh god, we forgot the cardinal rule. We didn't listen to Nick.
Man, all I'm saying is that's not wrong. It's
I also think this is a
I ha-
great place. Oh, go ahead.
I had an incident with a vendor at work today who like we were short 10 pieces on some builds that we had to get out tomorrow. So I went back to the vendor, talked to them, and it turned out they'd accidentally put us down for 10 parts instead of 20. So I got
lovely.
that revised, and then I looked at the packing slip they sent us, and it was still wrong. They sent us 5.
Oh,
So I was like,
terrific.
"Hey, I called back. It's still wrong." So they then proceeded to send us another 2, and I'm like, "This is the 3rd time. It's still wrong.
You guys.
God damn it!
Seriously.
This is like a $250,000 contract, and you're fucking it all up." Pardon my language, but
No,
yeah,
no,
it's
it happens.
hard to run a business.
Well, sorry,
That's
Nick.
the
We
end
don't
of
say
that.
fuck on this show.
I try not to because I don't know. Like sometimes I just say it too much, and it makes me feel lazy.
Oh, hello.
Like a veritable paltroon or a palooka.
Or Chris
Anyway.
Beck, if you will.
When, by the way, are you going to read the Blade itself?
Ooh, you know it's really funny you should mention that.
Speaking of Nicholas, I'm curious, like if you read that book and wonder if Sending Glockter has some things in common with me.
You know, I was actually thinking about that today because I've got like maybe 20 pages left of Space Odyssey. And when I finished that, I was looking at my shelf and I'm like, well, I've really got to now attack one of these books that Nick gave me for my birthday, and I was debating between A Blade Itself or Orphan Master's Son, and I was curious which one of the two you'd recommend, but I think I have my answer.
Master's Son is going to read a lot like... Oh, actually, if you were to put the Sympathizer and the Orphan Master's Son together in a room, the Orphan Master is what the Sympathizer aspires to be.
Okay. Interesting.
That is okay. Maybe that's why I didn't like the Sympathizer as much, because I thought
because you'd already read that. Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything else about that, but like I said, they didn't do anything with his dual identity in the Sympathizer. Watch a pro do it is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Anyways,
Cool.
the Blade itself is
God
one of
damn it.
those books that's just incredibly fun. One of the main characters, Sandan Glockter, is easily in my top 5 of literary
That's how I
characters out of
stop it.
everything.
Okay. Cool.
so-
Good to know.
Good,
looking forward to that,
amazing
then.
characters.
Excellent.
It's a book that starts strong and ends strong.
Yeah, and if you can't tell, I'm a sucker for for me, a well-rounded cast of characters can redeem even a weaker plot.
I think you would love this book. This is like Game of Thrones for people who have 2 brain cells.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I do like to use both my brain cells.
I'm glad Game of Thrones happened. I read all that's been written of the original series, but
All
the
that
Blade
needs to be
itself
written.
kind of correct. Yes, the Blade itself took that concept and it stripped down the unnecessary stuff, and it was like, let's just focus on 3 things and do them well, and it did. So.
By the way, I'm just now noticing Sparks' comment when one boat really loves another boat. That's what the achievement should have been called.
That's how you get it. That's how you get a dinghy.
That's how you get a dinghy. Oh,
But
man.
no, either of those books is good to read. But man, Blade itself is just a fun ride.
Cool. I will very much look forward to that then. Probably tomorrow at some point, because I've got all my work done for the week, and I'm basically just on phone and office duty, which is the days of
Now,
summer that
if
I look
I,
forward to.
Oh, pardon me. Oh, that
Pardon.
sake went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah, if I end up mysteriously disappearing for a few months, I'll probably usually be available on Thursday evenings.
So
That's
Thursday
usually when
evenings, when June rolls around.
Yeah, when June rolls around. Sometimes Tuesdays,
Cool.
but usually Thursdays is a safe bet. I do
that-
some streaming.
That's
on.
actually great, because Thursdays tend to be my most widely available night as well.
Good. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, if that ever happens, but,
Yeah, I will be excited to get back into this with you.
momentum is a powerful force, so I look forward to doing this again a week from whenever I go missing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Nick. Well, I'm glad to have finally gotten to talk about some of these things with you, and look forward to seeing you in a couple months.
If I go missing, right?
If you go missing, what are the odds of that happening?
I'm sure I'll come back at some point.
I'm sure you will. I kind of fucking hate that this is how I turn my boat off, but that's okay.
I don't think that's how you turn the boat off, is by saturating the engine. That doesn't sound correct, but I don't know. I'm not a professional boatsman.
A boatsman. I'm thinking that whatchamacallit that I got out of that. This is what I'm supposed to be using to bust through this wall. But we will find out next time on Play the Hits. We'll see you then.
Wait a sec. I'm sorry. Go into the middle there. Go into the to your right. That is a radar.
Oh, would you look at that?
That's a radar, because those dots were to your south earlier.
Interesting.
I don't know. You just go in a straight line the whole time. I don't know how you make any rhyme or is that like an item that's above you currently?
Yeah, like maybe things that you can interact with. I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
I'm
like
too
if
impatient
you
to wait till next
climb-
time.
Yeah, if you climb up, I wonder if there's like items you can grab. I think that's what it is. Like, that's not north, that's above you. Okay, we could talk about this off stream. Okay, good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Let's burn this boat
Happy
to the
ML
ground.
Happy MLK Day, everyone!
And happy birthday, me.